I don't know what to think about Dana White, but based on like everything I have seen, I think he's a real nice guy. Might be hard to work for him though if you're not bringing in a ton of money for him. It's always funny. I watch those deep dive like YouTuber made documentaries about MMA subjects, and they'll remind you of stuff that happened, and it puts things in better context. Some of the little stories, and there was a time when like Dana had beef with like Nate Diaz, and like they were having a real issue. And then like that night, him and Conor McGregor are in like a Lambo convertible, like riding around town, like having fun together. It's really, oh, I know what it was. It was about Tony never getting that Khabib fight, and Tony and Conor having the same representation, and them always putting Conor first and making sure he got the big fights. And they think that it sidelined Tony from getting finally the Khabib fight.
Maybe they did schedule that fight 5 times.
They did, and it failed. It's one of the most bizarre situations in sports that you could schedule something 5 times, and for one reason or another, it just didn't happen. Like one or more of the 2 men couldn't show up 5 times in a row.
Yeah,
it was crazy. Upsetting.
It seems like if you're on Dana's good side, you might get a house. Like, and interesting thing is this: a big part of the UFC compensation program is based on bonuses, seemingly at Dana White's whim, and it's hard to underestimate that. A guy will get like a $200,000 payday and an extra $1 million because Dana liked it. Dana liked your fight. He gives you $1 million. It's the semi-life-changing amount of money. And
Cormier kind of cheese.
Cormier, I think these numbers.
He's that's what I mean. He's the house mouse. He's the only one who's getting those $2 million bonuses.
I bet Conor's gotten bonuses like that. I can't prove it.
Yeah, but I bet Conor's.
I mean, currently he's negotiating that kind of cash, but I bet early Conor was getting 7 digits just dropped on him.
I'm done with Conor. I'm not interested anymore. Like, come back and fight and do a thing. I don't give a fuck about his social media. He's such a weird dude sometimes. I remember Chael Sonnen called him a weird little dude, and he got offended. And he is, though. Conor is a weird little dude. He needs to stop flexing because he's not a big man. Like
you keep dogging his muscles. Can we get a recent picture of Conor? He doesn't look little to me. Look, I mean, he's not tall, but
he just. Well, here's the thing. He's flexing like he's not big enough to flex. Is the thing. Like I just don't think he is. And also like his flexing is weird too. Like it'd be one thing if he was showing us like trying out, but he's actually like flexing muscles like a bodybuilder or something. And then the other thing I saw him do was when he was like being really weird and he like making those faces and making all those weird groany noises. He was just like, ah, like
he's small to you.
Yeah,
no, he's looking very big.
I mean, this is a great angle when
you're doing the Derek thing from More Plates, More Dates, where he's like, "Look at Superman in this film. He's just fucking fat." What's disgusting about this physique? He barely has abs.
This is the best angle I've seen him. I saw him today.
He looks very big in that one.
I saw him today on the UFC subreddit, and his arms did not look. Yeah, this. See, like this to me is completely different. Look, he's flexing so hard and accomplishing nothing. Look at his arms. Woody, I think your arms look better than this man's when you're all pumped up and flexing like this.
I don't know. I see his dick on the right picture all the way to the right. I don't know that I've got that 16.
Well, look, it's not a cock off, okay?
Is that wrap around to the back of him? What the fuck is that?
You're goddamn right it does.
I mean, but by compared to what he's ever looked like, this is much bigger, isn't it?
Yes, he has gotten bigger. But everybody's like, oh my God, he's roided out. No,
I don't think he's on roid. His traps are disproportionately large, but that's because he's flexing.
He's rolling them up and flexing.
Yeah, that's good. Exactly.
All right, here's how you can tell. Look at his chin. Look at his chin in relation to where his traps are. He's posing to look as big as he possibly can. And when you do that, and this is what you get to, that means he is a very small man, comparatively speaking. Look, he's a professional athlete. He's big. He's strong. He's not trying to get like big and bulky or anything, but he's flexing like he's showing off how big and bulky he is, and he ain't, is what I'm talking about. And he just doesn't look big. Like especially in the picture on the left, now his delt and that vein coming across is madness. Like that looks great. That is a whole separate thing. But the rest of his arm, I think Woody's arms are better.
I don't know.
I think Woody's arms are better. I bet Woody like bench presses more than
show.
Well, no, yeah, because it's not fair. Go fucking like get hydrated and get some of Derek's shit and like your pre-workout and do a whole workout thing.
Look at Woody's delt. Look at that.
I mean, look at Woody's delt. Like Woody doesn't have a professional photographer there, like getting the lighting just right with down lighting, and and he's probably not like at a crazy full pump there, and he's not tan as fuck. There's many reasons why like Conor looks the way he does. And I just think Woody's bigger.
I bet you can take him, Woody.
McGregor.
You can take him.
You know,
not in a cock off.
Yeah, Woody could beat up Conor McGregor.
That much is
that's the
conclusion.
40s. But in fighting, the only time I can think of, and it's before I was really even a fan, but what was the guy who has the real bad male pattern baldness that was a heavyweight who came back and like took the title up at like
sounds
40.
like Randy Couture.
Randy Couture, like he's the only example, and that's back when it was a bit more brawler and a bit less technique.
He beat
like
Tim
Randy
Sylvia.
Couture could not jump in today and be relevant.
The competition level is much higher now than it was when he beat Tim Sylvia.
Yeah. Oh, I heard this about Dana White. They asked him at the press conference. They're like, we heard something. We heard you bought this guy a house, and he's like, yeah, he's he's a good kid, he's on the Contender show, and he's doing well, and he told me the other day he's about to be homeless. We're not going to let that happen. And that was it. It was like, oh, that's really cool. He just bought him a fucking house, and he did. He just bought him a fucking house. That's such a nice guy thing.